Hello, Pisces. Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your June of 24 tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. I'm happy to have you all out there. Happy Gemini season. Let's see how that goes, right? All right, let's set the intention to get my Pisces gang out there watching. Strong placements in Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs in Pisces. Let's get them some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path, please. All right, what narrative or storyline can I share with Pisces? What might be coming up in the month of June for them? Something to be aware of, something they may work through. Let's see. So you have the Six of Pentacles. You're at a crossroads. It's almost like you could go two different directions here. And it's sort of like you see maybe benefit in both, but I'm almost getting fear might be relevant here. Like it's something about either option is inciting a little bit of fear, and you sort of seem frozen, like unable to make a choice on how to move forward, and so you're just kind of stuck. I'm hearing there's no place like home. There's no place like home. That might be a message that's going to help some of you determine what to do. I don't know, maybe some of you this has to do with moving homes or finding a comfortable spot or reuniting with family. I don't know, something about no place like home. So what is this crossroads here? Tell me a little bit more. All right, so on this side we have Two of Pentacles. Very weird Two of Pentacles, given that there's more than two items there, but okay, we'll go with it. This is the Sicoli Tarot. It's very unusual. I don't use it a lot, but I felt guided to. So, and then you have the Page of Pentacles. All right, so something about weeding things out, paring things down, delegating perhaps in some capacity so that you feel freer. Yeah, it's almost like feeling weighed down by, I don't know if it's material things, like you have too much stuff and you have to get rid of or eliminate. For some of you, this may have to do with if it's romantic or dating. It's like you've kind of been playing the field or you have some options, but it's funny. For some of you, it's like, it doesn't seem like any of the options are what you really want. And so there may be something here about needing to let someone down gently. Like you may actually find yourself in a position where people are like falling in love with you or just feeling really like, yeah, I want to work with you. I want to hang out with you. Or even like a friendship where it feels very consuming, but it's just not lighting your fire. It feels very void of emotion, which is not a Pisces thing. It's like, I don't know, something about this feels like it's weighing you down or it's become a responsibility or an obligation that it's just not contributing something positive to your life. You might be involved with someone who's very artistic or creative or a dancer, although that could be you as well. Yeah, there's something here about wanting to set yourself free. I love like the butterfly symbolism, and I got this little pink butterfly on the card. I don't know if you guys can see that, but what a beautiful card. Oh, it's going to mess up my camera, but you see that? It's like wanting to be free, but with the Two of Pentacles feeling like you're juggling something or weighed down by something or caught in like a loop, like a cycle. Like I just can't get myself out of this. It might actually have to do with financial difficulties or feeling like you pay off one bill and then you get a new one. It's like I just want to be freed from it. It's that type of energy. So then what's going on? What else here? What can I put here? I don't know if this is another... Anyway, I'm not going to speak. The universe knows what I need here. So tell me, universe, what else? Thank you. So then on the other side of this, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so this feels to me like trying to be responsible and give something a fair chance without like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, without abandoning something entirely. I think you're trying to ask yourself like, is there a way where I can shift where this becomes enjoyable again? Or do I ask for a little freedom in this relationship so it doesn't feel as suffocating? But I don't know, with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like, do you identify with the ultimate goal here? Like, is what you're doing and creating, is it in alignment with who you want to be and what you want to grow into? Are you in a place that fosters that career-wise? Are you with a person who supports your growth and dreams and wishes? Or is there a weird sacrifice or, I don't know, something with money issues is definitely coming up here. That won't be everyone's story, but some of you need to seek out mentor, guidance, advice, maybe speaking with a financial advisor or something about asking for a different, I don't know if this is even a thing, but changing up your tuition or loans and percentages or doing some sort of like creative solution to get you out of a place that feels kind of suffocating. That's what I think this is. And ultimately, Six of Pentacles, it typically shows the scales, right? It's a Taurian card, but it does have to do with Venus. So finding that middle ground, finding a happy medium. I don't think you're being asked to abandon ship on any of this per se, though, I mean, you're very psychic, you're very intuitive, so I do think that you need to honor what you are feeling. But I would challenge yourself to root those feelings in reality and groundedness and future projections of maybe what I'm going through now is testing my endurance, but it's actually going to make me stronger. And I'm hearing the word imbuing. That's not my word. That's channeled, like imbuing me with some sort of important skill that I'm still kind of working on. It's not necessarily a skill that is ingrained in me and natural and instinctual, and it does have to do with earthly reality, money type stuff. So it's almost like, you're at this crossroads, and for some of you it's like a pattern that you're trying to break out of. Rather than upping and leaving when things get tough or when there's confusion or uncertainty and leaning into the fear of what could be, I actually think you're trying to approach this in a more balanced way and not let the emotions or, again, the fear take over. Some of you, like a world of difference could be made by seeking some sort of advice or guidance, again, from someone who's in your position or who has been where you've been, or whatever it is you're trying to achieve, maybe career-wise, goal-wise, money-wise, speaking to an expert in that field, reaching out to someone for advice or guidance. That something about that could be a helpful solution. I'm not going to say it's going to solve all your problems, but it might re-inspire you or empower you to view something through a new lens and kind of re-engage in a way where you're excited to go at it again. But yeah, maybe, if it's relationship-wise or even job-wise, it's like you're past the honeymoon phase where it's new and it's fresh and it's exciting. Now you're just like, yeah, like it pays my bills, but whatever. Or, and hopefully that's not the person, I meant the job. Or if it's a person, it's like, yeah, like they're fun. We went on a few dates, but like, we're just not jiving. I don't know. I guess I'm sort of asking, do you see the vision in this where you can kind of breathe some new life into it and make it fun and exciting again? Or if it's something that you see no future prospect in, can you set yourself free in a way where you don't feel guilty about it, or where you are dismissing your feelings and intuition saying, hey, this doesn't feel right, but I'm in a self-sacrificial way, I'm staying in it because I don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. There's definitely some messages coming through there. I do think there's some story. It's funny that I just did a message for someone else like this and it was the complete opposite. But anyway, sorry. I think it was Aquarius's reading. If you're cuspy with Aquarius, that might speak to you. But there's something here, maybe of feeling guilty about one person having to pick up all the mess and the other person having it easy and just like coasting. And I'm not sure who's who. To be honest, I could see this going either way. So I'm not saying this is you and that's them. Like there isn't a defined boundary here, because for some of you, it will resonate the opposite. But just as an example, it's almost like one person here is like the creative type, the artist, whatever. And this feels very Pisces to me, right? They live in a very emotional world, an emotional realm. They're very sensitive to their environment and the people, and they're in tune. They're easily agitated or stimulated. The world can be overwhelming. And they just want so badly to they yearn to be free and to escape sort of the buzz and the busyness. But with that, sometimes they lose touch of reality. They think, yeah, but we do live in a material world. We still have to pay the bills on time, that kind of thing. And so with someone here who maybe you've been relying on in some financial capacity, that might be sort of a crossroads where it's like, I hate to say it like this, and again, you feel free to reverse the roles, but there's something here about maybe taking advantage of that because they allow you a comfortable lifestyle, but you're not necessarily, it's not an equal energy exchange. You're not necessarily contributing much back to that. And maybe it is an emotional connection. Maybe it's a relationship. But even if that's the case, Pisces, and I don't think you're sharing this with your person, but you've outgrown the feelings. It's become very comfortable where this person just feels like a friend, or it feels like family in terms of like husband and wife or whoever, but it lacks any romance. I don't know. So there's something here about either needing to reinvigorate that connection and breathe new life into it. But there is an issue with you guys regarding either money or collaboration in terms of resources, because this other person is kind of feeling slighted, like, you're coasting, like I'm giving you all this stuff and providing for you, and like I'm not even necessarily sensing like your love and that sort of thing anymore. And for some of you, this may even have to do with like a parent dynamic, a family dynamic. I don't know if, maybe if your kid is living off of you, and, they're in their late 20s, 30s, whatever, you're kind of at that point where it's like, I love them, but I feel like I need to set them free because I'm enabling this behavior. Like they're never going to learn life's hard lessons if I keep buying everything for them. Or there's sort of an uncomfortable energy of like, I don't want to hurt this person, but this dynamic has to change because there isn't an equal energy exchange, and someone is taking the brunt of the load, or like the responsibility is falling more on one person. And the other person, again, like you don't want to hurt them. They're like a delicate little flower, but at the same time, it's like, we can't enable that because that flower isn't reaching its full potential. It's meant to blow it's meant to grow and bloom and become a flower in a garden. And like, there's so much potential here, but I think both people aren't realizing an enabling relationship. And don't get me wrong, it does go both ways. They're both being enabled in a certain sense, but it's become too comfortable. This is not a tower moment of crisis in terms of like we're arguing, we're fighting, we hate each other, it's toxic, it's abusive. It's not that. It's too comfortable. It's so gentle. No one wants to be the bad guy. No one wants to rock the boat or say the thing that it's going to incite or provoke an uncomfortable conversation. It's like we're just very like, I'll deal with it another day. And that's what this card feels like. It's very stuck. Nothing is progressing here. Maybe you have a child who needs to go off to college and live life in, a different city and meet new friends or whatever. There might be a codependent relationship here, especially between parent and child. If it's not that, again, it could be codependence in relationships or even through the lens of a job. It's like you have a job, it pays your bills, although I would argue it just barely pays your bills. It's that type of energy where it's like, we're not really growing, we're not really even interested in the promotion. We don't want to grow here long term, but we have no other option. So we're just going to exist here for the next several years. And I think the universe is challenging you to step up and do something different, whoever you are in this dynamic. The Eight of Cups, yeah. So there's that Saturn energy where things are getting a little bit more real. It is forcing us to, and it is a Pisces card, so empower ourselves with more of a taskmaster energy, more responsibility, taking accountability and authority of our own life and our own path. Frequently the Eight of Cups, it does speak about your intuition is leading you elsewhere, but you may be resisting or denying the signs because of fear. Saturn can definitely incite a lot of fear of the unknown or fear of stepping out of what is comfortable, especially if you're still living at home. No shade, I totally get it. But at what point, it's almost like, Saturn is also the great timekeeper. At what point do you wake up and realize, oh my God, I've been doing this for 5 years and like this was a temporary situation, right? I think with Saturn and Pisces too, there's like a responsibility for us to do the internal work so that we can better operate as a contributing member of society in the external world. But with that, there's some uncomfortable energy about coming to terms with ourselves and who we are and embracing sort of all the potential we have, which is in order to pursue that potential or make better, achieve it. It is going to force us to do some hard work, to take responsibility and go out into the world and create something lasting and steady and solid, right? Saturn energy, something crystallizes. But there's more boundaries, there's more limitations, there's an understanding of our own self-limitations, but I would also argue our own self-imposed limitations. And in a sense, like where maybe our burdens have sometimes become other people, and acknowledging that and then taking it back and being like, if I push that onto you, I'm sorry, like I'm still working through that. But I think there's a lot of self-reflection going on in you, and not necessarily knowing. It's like, I'm getting something about like leapfrog, like you landed on a lily pad or whatever, and like you've been here, it's comfortable. It's like you can't stay there forever. That job, relationship, family, whatever this is. So it's like we're anticipating that next leap. sleep, but we don't necessarily see the next lily pad. And so there's not a lot of action here. So I'm going to say this to you. I think we know that eventually action is required, but I also don't see this person giving you an ultimatum of like, you need to go tomorrow. There isn't that sort of strict boundary. Though that being said, I think you need to start doing some research or asking the questions of yourself and of other people around. Hey, this is roughly where I think I want to go. Could you give me some advice on how to get there? But also, I think it would do you wonders to give yourself some sort of very steady goal or some sort of deadline. That's what's coming through here. So, because it's just too easy to coast. When we don't even try and give ourselves a deadline, you know, again, it's very Piscean, it's very fluid. There is no, start date or go date. It's just kind of like, I'll get there eventually. And part of me thinks that energy serves you in some capacity, but in this current situation, if you're resonating with this, we need a tighter boundary. We need a fixed timeline. And like for some of you, again, there might not even be huge consequence if you don't meet it, but challenge yourself to impose or implement that boundary or that structure or that routine, because ultimately that's what Saturn is trying to do. That's what Saturn is trying to do. And it is going through your sign of Pisces, right? So, I mean, I would argue you guys of all the zodiac sign, it's super important to you, Maybe it has to do with creating a strict regimen or routine for your dance or for your creativity. If you want to be an artist, you have to be an artist and show up every day and do the thing. Or maybe it's creating a way for health and healing. And it's like every morning I'm going to wake up, I'm going to set that alarm clock, that rigid structure, 6 a.m., I'm going to meditate for an hour. That's like that Saturn Pisces. It's like the rigid structure of the timeline within the context of something fluid like dance or creativity or spirituality, right? I hope you understand what I mean. I feel like you have you've put yourself in a cage accidentally. And don't get me wrong, for some of you, it's a comfortable cage, but it's like that bird is meant to fly free. It's like we got to release it and set it free because you're missing out on a world of opportunity. Like there's a whole world out there. And I get it. For some of you, it's fear. It's fear of the unknown, but Saturn, it's like we got to roll up our sleeves and put on our brave face and face our fear, because the feeling of elation that will come not only when you challenge yourself and do something outside your comfort zone, but when you achieve something, you've created something for yourself and it's yours and you can be proud of it. You don't have that weird feeling of guilt or shame of like, I only got this through the means of someone else. It's coming back into yourself with this Sun Virgo card. It's doing the work for yourself, doing work that you identify with and you see potential in. Because again, some of you, it's like you and your partner, you're together, but you're not speaking the same language. You don't have the same goals or vision anymore. Maybe at one point in time you did, but you're meant to fly free. Yeah, so there's that tower. And here's the thing. I don't think for most of you, the universe is going to throw a tower at you. I think this is that Saturn responsibility of, hey, can you see and have clarity when life is too easy and too comfortable and I've been coasting for too long? Can we start to realize that and be like, you know what? I got to show up for myself again. I got to start doing the work. I got to change my habits and show up and create that tower for yourself, right? Rather than this sort of ominous force of, God and the universe striking down his lightning bolt and giving you this moment of crisis. What if we don't let it reach that point? What if, we're tapped in and tuned in and can sense that something greater is out there? So what if we hear that calling and follow through and say, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? Like initiating that new chapter on your own rather than waiting till it's at a crisis point or a boiling point. Something here has got to change, right? And I don't say this out of fear, but with the tower, it's like maybe something needs to be destroyed or broken apart or eliminated so that we can start fresh. And I don't know what that is, but if this is your message, you will. For Pisces, can we get one oracle card that would speak to them that would be helpful for Pisces to hear, please? Either in regards to this reading or just in general. What's something that one? Okay, I feel that one. Let's see. The Darkening. That looks ominous. All right, let's do it. So that is card 12. That's, I think, the Hangman, right? Symbolically, we'll see what this book says. All right, The Darkening. Depth, readiness, and churning. In alchemy, darkness is an achievement. It indicates the material has been through a significant occurrence, sometimes called an initiatory experience, that has brought it into a state of readiness for the work. The darkness prepares us. We've moved beyond the small talk and chit chat of the upper world and descend into the psychic layers of the soul. We admit who we are fully and bravely, and thus open ourselves to the process of transformation. When this card appears, it's not necessarily to delve into what brought you here, the initiation, likely by fire, that has caused the embers to char. Rather, it is time to heal, and darkness is the remedy. Closing your eyes is a voluntary expression of darkening. By practicing it daily, we drop into the depths and surrender. As the alchemist's eye adjusts, transformation begins. And there is kind of a scorpionic thing to this, right? With the kind of the Tower Pluto energy here. But yeah, the darkening. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you. I don't know why when I was reading that, I was thinking, isn't there a band called Darkness? Is that like I Believe in a Thing Called Love? Oh my God. Have you guys seen the music video for that? Absolutely insane. Look that song up. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you smile. Thanks for joining me today, Pisces. Please do like the video. I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Word of mouth is huge. Helps my channel grow, so please spread the word if you like my style of readings. Other than that, thank you for being here. Happy June, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye.